Dear students, today we are discussing one of the most fundamental topics of Islamic history because unless we understand Arabia before Islam, we cannot appreciate the revolutionary impact of Islam. The CSS examiner does not ask, describe Arabia before Islam. Rather, the examiner asks, critically examine the state of Arabian society before the advent of Islam. Notice the phrase critically examine. A high scoring answer is therefore analytical rather than emotional. History proves that every great revolution emerges from a particular social background. Islam did not descend upon an empty land, it emerged in a society possessing remarkable qualities alongside serious moral, religious, political, and social deficiencies. Arabia before Islam is generally known as Jahiliyyah or the age of ignorance. However, the word Jahiliyyah does not simply mean lack of education, it refers to ignorance of divine guidance, moral disorder, tribal arrogance, injustice, and deviation from monotheism. The Quran itself uses the expression Hukmul Jahiliyyah, the judgment of ignorance. Thus, Jahiliyyah was essentially an ethical and spiritual condition rather than intellectual backwardness. To critically examine Arabian society, we shall study it under the following dimensions: political, religious, social, economic, cultural, moral. We'll also discuss the positive features and overall critical analysis of this topic. Arabia lacked a centralized political authority, unlike Byzantine and Persian empires. Arabia had no king, no parliament, no bureaucracy, no national army. Instead, the tribe was the supreme political institution. Every tribe functioned as an independent state. Its chief, known as Sheikh, ruled through consultation. This produced both strengths and weaknesses. The strengths were freedom, no dictatorship, people valued independence, every tribesman enjoyed equality within the tribe, leadership depended upon courage, wisdom, generosity, seniority, rather than hereditary monarchy alone. The negative side of this was absence of unity, continuous tribal warfare, blood revenge continued for generations. Examples that we can quote are the famous Basus War, which lasted nearly 40 years, and the reason only a camel. This illustrates how tribal pride dominated reason. Similarly, War of Dahesh and Al Ghabra started because of a horse race. This shows the apathetic condition over there. Imagine modern countries where every state behaves like an independent nation without any constitution, without any Supreme Court, no federal government. So that was Arabia. The absence of central authority created political freedom but prevented national integration. Islam later transformed tribal identity into the universal concept of Muslim Ummah. So far as religious condition is concerned, originally Arabs followed the religion of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Pure monotheism, gradually idolatry replaced Tawheed. According to historians, there were around 360 idols inside the Kaaba, major amongst them Hubul, Lat, Uzza, Manat. Yet interestingly, Arabs still believed in Allah as supreme creator. The Quran says, if you ask them who created the heavens and the earth, they'll surely say Allah. Their problem was not the denial of Allah, their problem was shirk. They used idols as intermediaries. Arabia was religiously diverse. There were Jews, Christians, Magians, Hanifs. The latter were the followers of Ibrahim's monotheism. And the example that we can quote is that of Zayd bin Amr, who rejected idol worship before Islam. People believed in fortune tellers, omens, divination, arrows, astrology. Religion became mixed with superstition. Uh, for critical analysis, we can say that religious diversity existed, but theological confusion dominated. Islam restored pure monotheism. So far as social conditions are concerned, there was tribal asabia. The tribe determined identity, honor, security, justice, revenge. One famous saying was, support your brother whether he is right or wrong. Islam corrected this concept, and the Prophet said, support him by preventing him from oppression. This completely changed the meaning of solidarity. So far as the status of women is concerned, they generally occupied a low social position. Practices included forced marriages, unlimited polygamy, inheritance denial, treating women as property. The most horrifying practice was female infanticide. The Quran asks, for what sin was she killed? Imagine parents burying newborn daughters alive because of social shame. Islam abolished this forever. Slavery was widespread. Slaves possessed almost no legal rights. Islam gradually reformed this institution by encouraging emancipation, making slave liberation an act of worship, and emphasizing equality. Family bonds were strong, hospitality was remarkable, genealogy was carefully preserved. These became positive foundations upon which Islam built. Arabian society possessed social cohesion within tribes but lacked universal human equality. So far as economic conditions are concerned, Arabia had limited agriculture. Economic life depended upon trade, animal husbandry, and caravans. Makkah became an important commercial center. Trade routes connected Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Abyssinia. Famous commercial families were from of Quraysh dominated trade. The Quran mentions referring to their commercial journeys. Economic problems included usury or riba, fraud, cheating, monopoly, exploitation, weak legal protection. Rich merchants accumulated wealth, poor people remained vulnerable. Islam prohibited riba, fraud, false measurement. The Quran wants woe to those who give less in measure. This is where students usually make mistakes uh, for culture and literary condition depiction. They only discuss evils. Remember, Arab civilization also had remarkable achievements. Poetry was their greatest art. The annual market of Oka served as literary festival. Poets enjoyed national fame. They celebrated muallakat poems, which were regarded as masterpieces. Poetry preserved their history, genealogy, ethics, and language. Arab speakers possessed extraordinary eloquence. This linguistic excellence later made Quran's miracle even more profound. The Arabs who mastered language admitted the unmatched eloquence of the Holy Quran. This strengthened the proof of the prophethood. The negative traits included drinking, gambling, blood revenge, pride, lawlessness, immorality, exploitation, yet there were admirable virtues. The positive traits included hospitality, bravery, keeping promises, generosity, patience, courage, loyalty, protection of caste, and love of freedom. Example that students can quote is that of Hatim Tai, which became a legendary for generosity. Islam did not destroy Arab culture, it purified it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, retained positive values while eliminating corruption. CSS, dear students, demands balance. Mention strengths. Arab society produced excellent memory, strong family ties, love of honor, powerful language, business skills, hospitality, military courage, leadership qualities, personal independence. Without these strengths, Islamic civilization would not have expanded so rapidly. So I asked you, the students, why did Arabia become the birthplace of Islam? Because the society had reached moral exhaustion, political disorder, religious corruption, economic injustice, social inequality, moral decline. Islam addressed every one of these problems. Philip K. Hitti writes in his book, The History of the Arabs possessed remarkable virtues of courage, generosity, and hospitality, but lacked political unity and moral discipline. Sir William Muir observes the religion of Arabia had become a mass of superstitions and idol worship. Karen Armstrong remarks Islam transformed tribal loyalties into a universal community based upon faith. Montgomery Watt argued Muhammad succeeded because he offered both religious and social solutions. Will Durant writes, no other reform in history transformed the people so completely in so short a time. So, students, you must quote at least four aspects from the Quran. The aspect of Allah acknowledged is creator, female infanticide, dishonest trade, judgment of ignorance, commercial journeys. So far as hadith references are concerned, you must quote that I was sent to perfect noble character. This indicates that noble qualities already existed but remained required perfection. No Arab has superiority over a non Arab except through piety. This completely abolished tribal superiority. So far as critical evaluation is concerned, students, remember that the examiner expects judgment, not merely narration. Arabia before Islam should neither be romanticized nor completely condemned. It was a society of paradoxes. On one hand, it exhibited bravery, hospitality, eloquence, commercial expertise, and a strong sense of honor. On the other hand, it suffered from political fragmentation, religious deviation, tribal chauvinism, social injustice, exploitation of women, slavery, and moral decline. Islam did not erase Arabian civilization, rather, it reformed and evaluated it. It retained its constructive qualities while eliminating its destructive practices. The emergence of Islam, therefore, represents not merely a religious event, but one of the history's most comprehensive moral, social, political, and intellectual transformations. As the historian Will Durant observed, no other reform in history transformed the people so completely in so short a time. Thank you very much.